Thanks for listening to the Tech Tools for Teachers podcast, where each week we talk about a free piece or two of technology that you can use in your classroom. I'm your host, Shanna Martin. I'm a middle school teacher, technology, and instructional coach for my district.
And I'm her producer, husband, and the one in charge of the books, Buzz Martin.
Clever.
Only when it comes to the show. When it comes to the house, you're in charge of the books.
Also
when
true.
When it comes to the show, it's all me.
This is very true.
Got her taxes done. So fun.
Yay. Right. So exciting. Books of all kinds. We're talking about digital books this week. We're on good old episode 118. It's always crazy to me because we're like in the hundreds. And after our Funsies Star Wars episode last week, which was inspired by my students.
Yes.
This week, our digital book podcast is inspired by my staff.
Oh, nice.
This time of year, our staff, my staff, seems to start creating books.
Okay.
For all kinds of things. It just seems like it's book time of the year. So April is National Poetry Month. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of poetry books created. And then some of my elementary teachers, they make books about mom for Mother's Day.
Okay. Yep.
And then the high school teachers have the seniors creating books of all of their work over the years and portfolios and things. And there's a lot of just bookmaking for various age levels and stuff. And there's a lot of different ways to do that. So I thought I would share some of the tips and tricks I give kind of with my staff, depending on what your students are capable of doing, and easy, free ways to create some digital books.
Great.
So here we have it. We're first going to use Canva, which I have talked about in season 1. Yeah. I talked about Canva a bit.
Episode 17 and 36.
Yeah. So it's been a while since we've talked about Canva, and they have definitely upped their game since I've talked about them.
Yep.
They have a billion different templates in all different areas that you'd want to use them. So the easiest way for me to find this template, because Canva has so much, is to go to Canva, canva.com/create/ebooks. And you're there. It sets you right into these templates. And we'll link that into the website. But also, if you just type in Canva templates, you can also find ebooks. But it's a quick way to find an ebook creator. And you can start designing right away to see if you like it, if you don't already have a Canva account, and you can just jump in. And if you have a Canva account, go ahead and sign in. But if you go to Canva and ebooks, what I like about Canva is here's your page. And then here's all the templates on the left-hand side. You can pick and choose what you're using it for. With my students, if we're going to create an ebook, even though the template may have nothing to do with the content that we're putting together, I let the 8th graders pick and choose what templates for the backgrounds and all the cool objects and things like that. What's nice about Canva too, if you jump in, they also have a tutorial that walks you through all of the things that you need. But if you choose a template, you can just click on one of their nifty little templates, and some of them aren't overly designed. So they're kind of a simple template. Mm-hmm. And they have their cool little elements that you can drop in with stickers and graphics and shapes and designs. And as you're creating your books, you can have students kind of an animation in them, which was pretty cool. I also there's different features in Canva that you can animate your pages. So once you get things typed in and then you click animate, literally they pop and load in different parts of your screen to make your book kind of come to life, which I like. So if you're doing a digital book, students have those choices versus just printing a book and binding it together and stuff.
That's cool.
So if you're creating a poetry book, it's kind of cool that you can load the poems. Your students can pick and choose the poems they're going to put into this collection and then have it kind of come to life when they're sharing it with others. But right there in Canva, so that left-hand side gives you your stickers. Students can upload their own images. So if they're writing, a lot of our younger students are at the point where they do nonfiction writing. And so they pick a piece of a realistic fiction where they can have images from their life or even pictures of themselves, and they could put it in and make their own book about it, or their pets or the horse farm down the street, whatever it may be. Photos you can upload, and then text you can do. And again, you can just pick and choose. Some of the audios you can add sound to Canva, but you do have to pay for that. That's more of a premium feature. And then background changes. So you can switch it from some flowers to a brick wall if you're more dramatic about your writing that page. And what's great then is you just click You got your template, you're adding in your text, you type it all up and you just click add page and it adds another page to your book. And you just keep writing and writing and writing. And I mean, your students could write a 100-page novel and that would be awesome. You as teacher have to read the entire thing and then assess it. So you might want to limit their pages, but that way it's all loaded in. And it's great because it'll tell you if it's unsaved or saved in Canva. Like, hey, by the way, save your stuff.
Yep.
And then you have the option to share it however you choose to, through email or through Google, depending on how your account's set up. And then you also have the option to download it. And you can download your PDF. And if it's just standard, you can go ahead and download the document, download the pages, drop it in, and it's there. And you've got your book all done. So students can choose to save them digitally, or they can share them and print them if that's where you're headed with that, which is kind of cool.
Very cool.
I know you've talked about Canva a little bit.
Yeah. Well, so we have some of our members of our social media team, so so they don't have to use Photoshop, which is a little bit more advanced, takes a little bit more of a learning curve.
Right. So you don't always need all of that.
Right, exactly. So they can take content on the fly and create it within Canva. And then, Canva's got all the right sizes and shapes and formats, and they can create little videos and animations and all that stuff really quickly and have the right colors and fonts. And that way they don't have to spend too much time creating what they want to create. Right. Because Canva will really allow you to create something cool looking in
a very short amount of time. Yeah. That's what I like is if you're having your students put together a professional booklet, they don't spend, they can spend hours futzing with the backgrounds and the pictures, but really you can limit it to, okay, if you've typed your content up, you can make some adjustments and they look professional. They have a very professional looking piece of published work, which is always kind of cool for kids to feel like they've accomplished something. So
yes,
Canva allows that with these digital books that you can create, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah. The fact that they, you can toss like if you make a graph in Google Sheets or something and then download it, you can upload it into the book. And
you can create, to have your own images and photos and all that.
And actually Canva allows you to make charts too. They do have some,
yes.
If you scroll down and click more, they do have the chart piece available. You can click and drag that in and then put all the items in your table and make that cool little.
I also appreciate that they have the styles, since we're down there in the charts thing, where it's like, here, guys, here's a nice font that goes great with these colors and you can click on it and everything is like formatted for you and it looks professional and amazing.
Right. Yes, exactly.
And some of my kids really, they struggle with like, I don't know what color to use. I'm like, you know what? Like, let's go here. You can choose this and you still have choices, but you're not overwhelmed by so many different options, which is pretty cool.
Agreed. Yeah. Pretty cool.
So Canva ebook designer, you can create those. And for those of you, I know sometimes we don't want our students signing up for things, or if you have younger students, but you still want to do digital books, a very easy, free way to create digital books is in good old Google Slides. So if you have, again, younger students or groups of students that want to work together on a book, a very easy way to do that. If you open up Google Slides, if you've got your little Google Suite on your computer, and I always share this tip because I feel like I tell people this and some know it and some don't, but you can go to page setup. So right on the left-hand side of your screen, file page setup, and swap that out. Instead of having a standard widescreen like a presentation, just go to custom and then change it to 11 by 8. Or you can change it to run whatever shape or size you want, honestly. But if you can do that, then you apply it and all of a sudden your pages are set however you want them to be, or 8 by 11. However you want it, if you want a wider book or a, horizontal or vertical book when you're creating it. And then right into Google Slides, students you can pick your background and set your template if you choose to, or you can go into formatting. It depends how you want your students to set up or how much work you want them to put into it. But they can easily create group books with Google Slides, and then each slide just becomes a page in your book. And you can share it with a whole class in Google Classroom, and then each student can be in charge of a page if you're creating something. I know a lot of times we've done this for end of the year, kind of a little reflection, like one thing I'm proud of. And every student in like your A team or your group gets one slide to like state what they're proud of in the last day of school. We share
that's a great idea. Yeah.
The goals that they've all had together. And then that book, I know some teachers who have then printed it, so they kind of have it to share with families if they want to, or students who don't have access to digital things at home, they can print it and take it with them. So that way they can show what they've accomplished or different things where you have that option. Then it's not just a digital presentation, but then it can turn into a book, and you can always print on both sides. So it's double-sided, and then make a cool little nifty book. Or also it's great for teachers who are retiring. You can create little booklets, this little memorabilia, memories for those teachers, and put pictures of their students in there. I mean, there's just so many ways you can manipulate it, but Google Slides is an easy way to create a digital book that's free. You just don't have all the template. I mean, you would have slides templates, but so with Canva, you have those options to have more professional grade almost when you're looking at those different options with your ebooks versus Google Slides. But with Google Slides, you can have quite a few students working in the same space, which is pretty cool.
Sure.
I don't know. Did you guys create books when you were kids at all in the classroom? I feel like our kids do like books, so they like to write and share their ideas and do all of that stuff, which is fun and exciting. Our smallest child just came home with a book that she wrote. She wants to add her own images to it. So we can do that.
Yeah, we can do that.
All right. So with Canva and our ebooks, there's just so many different ways that you can use them in your classroom, especially as the year comes to an end and we're kind of wrapping up all of our cool ideas, the ways we can share them with other people. So yeah, it's kind of fun. I like creating digital books, and it's a great way to share information with other people.
Absolutely.
So, All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. This has been the Tech Tools for Teachers podcast. If you ever have any questions, you can find me on Twitter @SmartInWI. And if you want to get more information on the links and technology discussed in this episode, you can visit smartinwi.com. If you'd like to support the show, please consider buying me a coffee or two. Visit buymeacoffee.com/smartinwi or visit smartinwi.com and click on the cute little purple coffee cup. Your donations help keep this show going. New episodes each week. Thanks for listening. Go educate and innovate.
The ideas and opinions expressed on this podcast and the Smart NWI website are those of the author, Shanna Martin, and not of her employer. Prior to using any of the technologies discussed on this podcast, please consult with your employer regulations. This podcast offers no guarantee that these tools will work for you as described, but we hope they do.